Hi, gorgeous soul. Welcome to the weird, mysterious, and mischievous world of mystic cards. I am Chloe the Cosmic Mage, and I am having my mid-morning coffee here in the UK. And I felt really, really drawn to doing a collective reading today. I used to do them every full moon. And I stopped for a while as I feel that I prefer to lean into doing these collective readings when I'm really called to do them. And yeah, yesterday when I was doing my Witchy Wednesdays live stream, I was really guided to do a reading for the collective or for any souls who consciously choose to align with this video and any messages that it may bring. For any messages or guidance or mirrors to us of what this current eclipse is gonna present to us, so that we have the opportunity to welcome any lessons and any growth that may come with that. Eclipses, I mean, some of you might already be experiencing this. Eclipses can bring quite chaotic energy. They can feel suddenly as though the rug is being pulled from under our feet. I feel like sometimes they're like, you know, if you have like a hoodie or a jumper and then you suddenly just turn it inside out. That's what it can feel like. I think chaotic is right. It's sort of I find the energy of eclipses come to like shake shit up, almost to surprise us and be like, yeah, are you attached to that thing? Well, what happens if I pull that away from you? Or you thought you had your life figured out? I'm going to put this right in your face so you can't ignore it anymore. So it's all for our highest and best good, but it can feel like quite a harsh or raw or chaotic teacher. So I suppose I'm doing this reading with the intention of hoping to help you to survive and navigate the eclipse, which will be between now and the next full moon, which will be the lunar eclipse. So that will be in 13 days' time. Yes, if yesterday was 1, or if today is 1, then it will be 14 days' time. I'm a little bit discombobulated myself. I did not get much sleep last night because already the lesson that was being presented to me was being replayed over in my mind until I caught the lesson and then gave thanks for it, and then I fell asleep. It's quite amazing when we start actually leaning in, to what's coming up for us rather than fighting it or freaking out or getting anxious over it. So yeah, I would say if anything came up for you yesterday, any sort of sign of discord, disagreement, argument, a cancellation of something, a letdown, a death, a disaster, any things that we may consider in our day-to-day life to be uncomfortable, take note of all of these things that come up from yesterday and for the next 14 days. Write these things down and put a hand on your heart and say, universe, or whoever it is that you speak to, source, your guides, goddess, I'm ready to embrace the lessons. I'm ready to really understand the depth of what this is trying to teach me. I'm ready to break this pattern. And you will. You can gain clarity from that, especially during an eclipse. I feel like it's heightening our ability to navigate through shadow work, and almost like gives us this 2-week window of really fast tracking some of those deeper, darker lessons within ourselves. And I know that yesterday something happened to me. It was just a conversation, but it really highlighted a whole relationship pattern for me. And it was just suddenly this moment, you know, until about like 1 a.m. in the morning, of all of these different things being presented to me and feeling very chaotic, until all of a sudden I just allowed myself to link the clues together from these different relationships. And then it was just clicked, this simple message for me. And I was like, ah, okay. Thank you. So I know for me, well, I feel at the moment, although I'm totally open to being surprised through the journey, I feel that for me, one of the lessons that I'm going to be working through is relationships. And I don't just mean romantic, I mean all across the board, and who I, reflecting upon who I allow into kind of the close parameters around me. So there's, you know, differences between acquaintances and clients, and then like people who you actually trust and let in close. Without going into too much detail, that's really something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on and reflecting on in these next 2 weeks. And I'm really eager and interested to see if this is a collective energy or if it's just more personal to me. So this is why I'm going to be coming to the cards today. Interestingly, I'm being like strongly guided to do a reading with the Wildwood Tarot, which is by Mark Ryan and John Matthews, a male tarot deck. It's a druidic tarot deck, so it's very forest based, so of course it resonates with me. But yeah, there's been quite a few synchronicities for me, sort of guiding me gently towards tarot, because I do a lot of oracle readings, but I've never really dived deep into tarot, even though I love tarot and I think it's an incredible conscious system of communing with spirit and really mirroring what it is that we need to reflect on within ourselves. So yeah, this is the first time I'm going to be doing a proper public reading with these cards. So I'm really excited. And for those of you that know me, I read very intuitively. I read into the images and the numbers, and I allow my channel through my heart to open up for messages to come through as I commune with the cards. So it may be different from tarot readings that you're used to, but I'm excited. And yeah, so the intention is for us to get some clarity on what some of the lessons may be presented to us over the next couple of weeks, and just some themes that may be coming up for the collective, kind of just as a guidepost. And as always, when I do collective readings, oftentimes cards or messages come through that are very personal and particular, and you might get that feeling or that sense when you watch this. And then some of the cards are much more for the collective. So yeah, I'm being called to pull some cards. Okay, the number is coming through 8 from the tarot deck. And then I also, again, I have never used these cards in group readings. This is my Kuan oracle, which is blessings, guidance, and enlightenment from the divine feminine, by the incredible Alana Fairchild, and artwork by Zeng. The artwork is beautiful, and the messages are, they're incredibly deep. And yeah, I was guided to bring through this energy. So it will just be one card of these after we've read through the tarot, and these have like a prayer and a blessing in them as well. And it's interesting because I was drawn to the Wildwood, which is written and created by men, and then I was guided to the divine feminine. So there's already a theme coming through about balance there. So I'm excited to see where this goes, and I really hope you enjoy this reading with me. If you do, please give it a like, a subscribe to my channel, hype if that resonates, share. every little bit of support really helps me. So thank you so much, and let me know if you enjoy these readings. So I am going to be doing the reading obviously in front of me, and when I pull a card and I'm talking about it, I'll bring the card up to show you. Okay, so setting the intention to receive 8 cards that are going to help to bring clarity, guidance and wisdom for the collective, and for any soul who chooses to participate in witnessing this reading today, helping us to navigate and to understand our own lessons that our heart and our soul is seeking the most during this time of this eclipse tunnel, this 2-week eclipse tunnel, right at the kind of the peak end of the summertime here in the UK and in the Northern Hemisphere. So for the first card, please can we have the main energy of focus, so the main energy of reflection for both individuals and collectively, that we will be experiencing the strongest over this next 2 weeks. I'm just gonna shuffle that again. It's like a pretty chunky deck. Okay, please can we have 1 card, and may it present itself. All right. Ooh. Powerful. Whew. Okay. Okay, I'm getting so much energy and so many messages coming through with this card. Wow. So I'm going to show you the card, and this is the 9 of Stones and tradition. So stones, sorry about the portrait mode on the camera. So, and look at that. I mean, that is the full moon. So that is like the completion of this cycle. Stones, all of the stones cards are connected to the earth element. So that is our feelings of safety, our humanness, our strength, our survival mechanisms, our abundance, our money, our home space, our security. Wow, okay. And tradition. Also, the number 9 is a strong card, sorry, my brain, hormones. Trying to do this when you're premenstrual. I don't even know why I do it to myself, so just bear with me. 9 was the number that we experienced last year, and look, year of the snake. We've got the snake there. It's a very strong number in shamanic and magical terms, because it's an ending. It's an ending that signifies a new beginning. Oh, there's just so much power in this. The message that I'm getting is, for a lot of us over this next 2 weeks, we are going to be challenged by our family values, our sense of security, our home space. Maybe some money issues might be coming up. And we're going to be called back to tradition. You know, if we think about everything that is going on in the modern, the patriarchal, the capitalist, intense AI world, I would say that feels like the opposite to this card. So we're being called back to find this sense of safety within ourselves, but also to the truths and the traditions that are really built around humanity and supporting one another and stability and connecting with the land. Wow, okay. So for me, this is a powerful card. It's going to present us with some uncomfortable challenges and really ask us, you know, are you okay with what's happening in the world? And if not, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to build a new tradition by connecting to your ancestors or going to nature and finding the way that she works and builds stability? Because there is just so much peace and power in this card. And what's the opposite to peaceful power? It's, you know, chaos and control. Very, very interesting for the center of the deck. Okay, thank you so much. So I'm being guided to actually to do this reading differently now. I love it when I'm just intuitively guided. So this is the center of the deck, and this is a 9. So now I'm being called to draw 8 more cards. 4 to go over the top, which is going to be 4 cards which are going to be signposts towards how we can get to this, how we can get to that peace and that internal power. And then there's going to be 4 cards that are going to represent perhaps some of the shadows that are going to be brought up, that are going to represent that chaos and that control. Okay. So can we have the cards, please, that are going to help us through this eclipse season, on this journey towards a sense of peace and inner power, reconnecting to traditions, to the lands, to our ancestors, to truth, to truth. 4 cards, please. They can come in any order, in any way that they would like to present themselves. Thank you. 2 more. Two more cards to help us understand this healing journey and this self-reflection journey towards peace and inner power, tradition and stability. Because Lord knows we need more of that in the world right now. Thank you. Okay, and now I'm going to go for the shadow side, if you like. So some of the challenges that we may be presented with collectively, especially over this 2-week eclipse portal. What might be some of our own internal power struggles. Remember, this is all about our own inner healing journey. One more card, please. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to go for the top row first. Yeah, okay. It's all making a lot of sense. Okay, so we've got 2 major arcana cards in here, which is interesting. So this tarot is slightly different, but it still resonates, you know, with the traditional tarot. Okay, so these are some of the healing points and some of the healing pointers that are going to help us to come to that place of inner peace, inner power and abundance and reconnection with the truth of who we are. We've got the 4 of Bows, celebration, which is beautiful. This is a fiery card. This is a fiery card. 4 is all about abundance. And the message that I'm getting here is that, yeah, resilience. So eclipses can often bring about a lot of challenges that can really feel like we're being flipped on our head and flipped on our asses. And this is almost a challenge. It's like, even in these hardest of times, even in these challenges, can you choose to celebrate all your achievements, all of your blessings? Yes, when challenges arise, it can feel like the world as we know it is crumbling around us, but in reality, that is just such a small lens to view through what is actually going on, and how much can you burn through that with joy and with celebration. So that's almost a challenge, and that's going to help us to get to this place of peace, of abundance, of ending of a cycle and a new beginning. Celebrating, especially for those of us who are in the Northern Hemisphere. It's the height of summer. It's like coming up to the last 2 weeks of the summer. This should be a time of celebration, sharing ourselves with loved ones. Yeah, fire. It's alchemy. It's choosing joy even when the world seems dark and heavy around us. Sorry, I love that. I love that. Okay, and then we've got number 20, which is the Great Bear. And this is the same as the Judgment card in the traditional tarot. And Judgment is awakening, and it's reckoning. So it's a rite of passage in a way, and it's like, you know, the bear is calling you into this cave of darkness. And yeah, it's a time of great awakening. A lot of us, and this is actually ironically linked to one of the messages that I really received, is like, a lot of people, even though they've awakened to some level spiritually, they're still choosing to not fully take action, and choosing that blissful ignorance and feeling like they don't actually want to make any changes or do anything in the world. And this is like, some of those things are really going to be put in front of us, and I feel that this is going to be our morals are going to be tested and put to the test. And it's almost like, are you brave enough to actually step in there? And yeah, it's almost a time of like even an even deeper awakening. I love that card. You know, it's stepping into fear. It's stepping into our shadows and having that really honest conversation with ourselves. You know, a reckoning is taking responsibility. Taking responsibility. Perfect. I mean, that's a great sign. You know me. I'm an advocate for shadow work. Okay. This is yet another really interesting one that's come through. Two of Stones, we've got two fighting hares. Again, this is an earth card. So this is about stability, it's about our abundance, about our home life, about our safety, and the card is called Challenge. Where are our greatest challenges in our life? You know, it's going to be time to face up to them now. Literally face them head on, like the hare. So maybe that is abundance. Maybe that is something shaky or not feeling stable in your home. Maybe it's something in your physical body and your health related. You're going to be faced with these challenges, like the volume's going to be possibly turned up a little bit in these next 2 weeks, and it's time for those who are ready and willing to rise up to the challenge and face it head to head and say, okay, all right, I'm going to take this seriously now. So yeah, I'm getting that it's going to be money, home life, or health. Okay, perfect. And then our second major arcana card is the Archer, which is, I believe this is the same as the Chariot in the tarot, which is, you know, it's, when we think of an archer, it's very much like Sagittarius energy, for those who like astrology, which is fiery, it's driven, willpower, like knowing what you're aiming for. It also is hard-working energy, courage, bravery. I feel that all of this resonates with that energy of finding our inner peace, our inner power, our abundance, and really going through this ending and new beginning. Yeah. Drive, willpower, courage. Shooting and aiming and going for it, feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And you know, it's quite similar really to the bear, you know, that energy of judgment. Judgment also is a reflection, I find, on what's going on in the world around us. Like, do we agree with war? Do we agree with taxes? Do we agree with the way that humanity is being treated and controlled and manipulated? I know I certainly don't. And then flipping that inwards and saying, okay, what am I doing about it? If I don't align with it, why am I complying to it? I feel that there's going to be a huge energy around that in this next 2 weeks, because we're moving past the time of love and light and spiritual bypassing. It really is a time for us to get real and to get raw and rugged and go back to, yeah, I'm really getting this energy through now of this, our ancestors who were warriors, who would not run, you know, at the first sign of adversity. They would get their spear off their back and be ready, you know, ready to fight and ready to defend. Being spiritual does not mean being soft and loving all the time, you know, it's about being fierce and protecting those who need it and protecting our fellow humans and our fellow beings. Okay, amazing, amazing. So choosing joy and choosing to celebrate, and that's really alchemy. There's lots of alchemy energy here. Choosing to celebrate even when times get tough. Judgment, awakening, reckoning, really getting clear on our morals and our actions that we are actually taking very humanly in the world right now, to really ground and embody ourselves in the earth as a spiritual being. Facing our greatest challenge head on and saying, I am ready to face this fear. And willpower and drive. Keep going. Keep going. Use this summery energy. We have the sun at full illumination in this part of the world. And even if you're in the winter, you know, it's going to be about you drawing up this inner power and shooting for what it is that you want and just going for it and not looking back. Okay, so we're going to come to the shadow side now. What are some of the challenges or messages that we may be facing? Okay. Okay, we've got 1 major arcana and 3 minors. We've got another stone card, so another earth card about our strength, our abundance, our survival mechanisms, our stability in the world. And this one is a lynx. This is the Page of Stones. I'm going to show you this card. And this is quite a predatory energy. Quite a trickster-like energy, you know, creeping up in the trees. So the message that I'm getting coming through here is be mindful in these next 2 weeks of any tricks or any lessons that may be coming through that are not of your highest and best good, that come and sneak up on you, or like a kind of a dangling of a carrot energy of like you being the prey and like dangling the carrot, because it's a trick and it's sneaking up. So I do feel that there is going to be some of that sort of stalking energy of testing us of what it is that we want, whether that's like a house or abundance or a stable marriage, like some of these very, you know, earthly human-like things. I feel like we're going to be faced with this kind of trick, or what's the word I'm looking for? Like a false something is going to come in almost as a test to see if we can actually see, oh, this isn't actually what I want, but it's very similar and I'm going to learn the lesson from it. Okay, and then we have the moon on the water. Yep, so this is the same as the moon card in the traditional tarot. I know in this deck the message is about illusion and fear and deception, because obviously the moon is connected to our emotions. So some emotional challenges are going to be coming up these next 2 weeks. And again, this is all for our greatest good. But and I've already experienced this. I've caught this sneaky lesson sneaking in around my own inner fears around safety. And it's about illusion. So a moon on the lake, it's an illusion, it's a reflection of the truth. Okay, so what I mean by this is, I'm not going to give you the true example because I don't want this to be like a personal share for me. I want you to reflect. But this little sort of niggling, I don't want to call it a fear because it's not a fear, but this niggling sort of a fear in my consciousness has been coming up in the last couple of days, like a lot more loud than usual. And it's for a very specific thing or like action or outcome. And I said, hang on a minute. I'm absolutely not scared of this outcome because I've already worked through it. So what I did was I stopped and I said, this is an illusion. Where is this real emotion of fear rooted? And it instantly took me all the way back to my childhood, and I found the root. So I feel that lots of fears or whatever our deep wounds are going to be coming up, but they're going to be presented to us as illusions. So for example, let's just take an example, be like, I'm so scared that there's going to be a World War III and that's going to affect the country where I live, which is, you know, it could be a possibility. Anything's possible. But in reality, if you can stop for a moment, especially say for me in the UK, stop for a moment and say, hang on a minute. Like if I didn't watch the news or didn't engage, like that idea, that illusion of fear probably wouldn't even be in my consciousness. So where is this fear coming from? Am I innately scared of death? And if so, where has that come from? Okay, so I really feel like this is going to come up a lot from us. The illusions are going to be presented to us as an opportunity to break free from conditioning, from programming, break free from that control of the mind and come back into the root. Remember, the main energy of our reading is stones, tradition, earth, coming back to the root of things, really coming back into the root of ourselves and the truth of who we are. And an illusion is an amazing way to do it, because when we see past the illusion, we get to the truth. Cool. Five of Arrows. Frustration. So arrows are to do with the air element, which is mental. And if we look here, you know, it's this frustration of feeling, I'm really getting sort of victim mentality here of like, you know, I'm trying my best, I feel like I'm moving forward, but no matter what I do, life is shooting at me and throwing me all of these arrows, and all of these bad things keep happening to me, and I'm just stuck in this loop of frustration. So that's going to be coming up. Frustration. Noticing those mental loops and patterns and frustrations, and what I feel the juice and the lesson of that will be is, okay, so how can I take responsibility for this? Why am I frustrated? And to really evolve away from all the arrows that are being shot at us, we've got to move out the way. Simple. We've just got to move ourselves out of the firing line. And only you will navigate how to do that. But yeah, lots of kind of mental frustration, inner turmoil, victim mentality. Okay. Love it. So we've got another bow card here. I was just looking at the numbers, so this is interesting. So for me, this is a mirror card. We've got two of bows, decision, and this is fire. Fire is about alchemy, it's about action, passion, drive. Yeah, it's really like taking action. Look at him, he's got those two sticks. It's time to make a decision. It's time to stop procrastinating. And for me, that goes with our challenge. Face the challenge head on, make a decision. And what's interesting is that this is in the shadow. So it might feel like a really difficult decision for us to make. Fire can feel like quite a strong, you know, kind of energy, a strong energy. And that can feel scary and that can feel harsh for some of us. And that, I feel why that is why it's going to be a shadow, because sometimes making decisions that are for our highest and best good, and ultimately for the highest and best good of all, can feel painful, or it can create a loss, or an outcome that we have to grieve from. And that's why it's in the shadow side. We could be faced with a difficult decision that's really gonna, when we make this decision and when we push ourselves into that discomfort, it's going to help to build our inner sense of power, because we are respecting ourselves. Yeah, look how powerful he is with those sticks of fire. 0 fucks given. And the gorgeous starry sky as well. Yeah, strength and power in decision making. The word respect was coming through there. So when you make a decision, however hard it is, you will gain respect. Whew. Wow, amazing, amazing, amazing. I hope that you've enjoyed this reading, and I really enjoyed reading with these cards, actually. Let me know if you enjoy these cards. I love the images, I love the animals and the energy. I'm excited to get to know them better. So I'm going to pull a Kuan Yin oracle card for us now as well, for just a little bit of divine feminine guidance that's going to help us to navigate some of these lessons and some of these challenges, which seem pretty significant and powerful, which don't surprise me at all, because a lot of the internal channeled guidance that I've been receiving is very much in alignment with this reading. Yeah, so it's very much internal, but it's also about like really waking up to the truth of what's happening in the world and figuring out how we are going to start taking action. And that doesn't have to be like fast, you know, life-shattering action, but slowly and steadily building up this inner peace and personal power. Because just look at that. I mean, the energy of that is really incredible. Really incredible. Just seeing I've just written some notes, because I do like to study these cards to make sure I know. But yeah, you know, the stag is he's wearing the stag antlers, and that's a sign of like strength and hope and guardianship as well. So yeah, it's a really beautiful card to have in the center. Okay, so calling upon, and I actually have a tattoo of Kuan Yin, which was inspired, I believe, by the artwork on one of these cards. I thought it was on the front of the cards, but it's not. Yeah, so we have actually Kuan Yin. It's one of my favourite tattoos that I've ever got, by an incredible tattoo artist. He's Indonesian, called Bagus Black and White. So beautiful. Yeah, I love Kuan Yin. She has very dragon energy. She's the goddess of unconditional love and compassion, but I have connected to like some very quite sensual energy with her too. So calling upon Kuan Yin, Lady of Love, Lady of Compassion. Please can we have a message and a prayer of guidance and of healing for the collective at this time, to support this eclipse reading that is in service of the highest and best good of the collective at this time. Thank you. Ooh. Okay, and for this one, I don't normally do this, but the channeled messages that are written in the guidebook of these cards are so epic that I'm going to actually read it out for us. I'm going to show you. the nectar of the lotus. And this is a number 20. And interestingly, this correlates with the Great Bear, the 20. So this was our reckoning, like our judgment. On the other side of that is the nectar of the lotus. And look, I mean, this to me has very much like Emperor, Empress energy, abundant, but also very relaxed and soft, knowing, regal, sovereign. Yeah, really, really beautiful. Okay, and look at the gold energy there. So I'm going to read the guidebook for us for this incredible card. And I'll link the decks, the name of the decks and the artists in the description of this book as well. So 20, Nectar of the Lotus. All right. The Divine Mother, who wishes that those who are meant to feed others will be well fed too. Your devotion to helping others has the effect of squeezing the cosmic heart chakra of the Divine Mother. From her heart drips nectar, sweet, sustaining, life-affirming energy that feeds you and allows you to nourish many souls. Like a sacred chalice that overflows, when you are full, well and vital, the feeding of others happens effortlessly. You are guided to be fed now, fed with the divine nectar from the heart of the Mother. Yeah, so this very much aligns with, facing your internal challenges, not for only your greatest good, but by doing that, by taking care of your abundance, your safety, your health, you are being in support of the greatest good. You are saying, okay, I'm ready to show up and be of service in the world because I'm ready to fill my cup and take myself seriously. There is an endless supply of energy, joy, peace, bliss and love for you, flowing from the heart of the Divine Mother Kuan Yin. Yet sometimes we may experience limitation instead of endless supply. See, again, our challenge is about abundance, and abundance doesn't just mean money. It's whatever we desire more of in our life, abundance. These limits can be a hidden blessing. They could be a sign that our mind and emotional life could use some help shifting from scarcity consciousness into consciousness of abundance. As we do this, we tend to relax and flow more easily, tapping into what is needed rather than perceiving restriction. A limit or block in our flow might be telling us that our nervous system needs some time to adapt to receiving higher intensities of spiritual electricity through our system as we become more used to living a joyful, higher vibrational existence. A limit or restriction in our energy might indicate that we have been so focused on giving to others that we have forgotten that we are a part of the divine heart and we are seeking to embody, and we need to gain more balance in our lives by taking some time out and attention for ourselves. I feel that there is a big message in that. When we are encountering a limit of some kind, whether through needing to come back into balance or because we are about to break through, number 9, break through death and rebirth, to a new level of spiritual growth and realization, it is wise to receive the divine nectar, to allow ourselves to become replenished and supported, honouring the guidance that is hiding in the limitation that we are encountering. Eclipse, using our challenges and our limitations as our greatest lessons and guides. then it will have served its purpose and the limit can fall away. This is becoming a curse breaker, a pattern breaker. Divine nectar is our vital energy. It is life force and the fuel for growth of all kinds. It is peace, it is power, it is abundance, and it is peace and power. What words was I saying? Peace and power. You can't make this up. It is peace, it is power, it is abundance, and it is love and divine grace. It exists in the physical world and the spiritual worlds, forever intertwining with each other throughout the life of our universe. When our chi energy or life force is replenished, we feel creative, happier and more content, accepting of ourselves, others and life, and we are more able to flow in harmony with nature and divine will. It is a much more enjoyable way to live, in balance and with adequate chi, rather than to be struggling to keep going at times, when it would be more productive to love ourselves enough to stop, rest, replenish, and revitalize ourselves. Huge, huge, huge message from the Divine Mother here and the Divine Feminine. We gain the most chi when we are in connection. Otherwise, it is like trying to draw power when there is already a plug in the socket. Kuan Yin guides you to healing now by asking that you listen to yourself and your needs. What part of you needs more connection? Is it your emotions, your body, or your spirit? What would bring you the most joy and well-being? Do you need exercise or meditation or both? Do you need time alone to reconnect with yourself, or do you need more time with friends and family? Imagine spending some time in nature. What type of nature would feel the best for you right now? Trees, ocean, mountains, a wide open field blooming with vibrant flowers or rich grasses on a clear sunny day, or a cool dark forest with an abundant canopy of lush greenery. Even just becoming aware of what feels good for you at any given time is a way to open your heart to receive the divine nectar that seeks you out constantly, to nourish you and replenish you. Taking a few moments to consider what you need strengthens your self-awareness and increases your ability to consciously meet your needs. This is essential for you to be able to cultivate your chi energy and live your happiest life. It is this good self-care that allows you to partake of the nectar of the lotus. The Divine Mother wants to help you, and you can assist her by helping yourself too. And then we've got a prayer of the lotus nectar. If you want to place your hand on your heart and close your eyes, I welcome you to do so. Beloved Kuan Yin, help me to realize the connection to myself and to life that I need to be able to live my highest vibrational life, where I am well, replenished, joyful, and connected to the endless flow of divine energy and life force in our universe. Please bring me clear guidance about how to best cultivate chi now, how to be open to receive the nectar of the lotus, the life force and love of the Divine Mother. For my highest good, so be it. Om Mani Padme Hum. Wow. Thanking so much. Thanking so much. Thanking you so much for being here, witnessing and choosing to take part in this reading and choosing to embrace this journey of self-awareness that is required for your growth, for your highest and best good, and for the highest and best good of all. And I'm so grateful for all of the guidance that I've received here and the beautiful artists and creators of these two amazing decks that I've used today. Thank you so much. Please remember, like, hype, subscribe, all of that good juicy stuff. And if you really want to dive deep and feel like you could use some extra support, some help with your own healing, clearing, messages and guidance at this time, please do feel free to check out my one-to-one offerings at mystichearts.org, or you may be interested in diving into the 8-week transformational training course called Embody Your Magic, which is launching at the end of September. There's already such a beautiful group of souls. There's a limited amount of spaces that I'm taking on, so please do check it out, mystichearts.org/training, and I'm always here if you have any questions. I love reading your comments, so please do share your reflections, how you're feeling, or any questions that you might have. So much love, eclipse blessings from my heart to yours.